I'm Laura Blumenthal on the Berkshire Heroes podcast, and joining me today is Steve Harris, chairman of Windsor and Eton Pride. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Laura. How's it going?
Good, thank you. Now, Windsor and Eton Pride, you've got your first ever March and Pride celebration on the 26th of July in Windsor, and you've also worked in events in your career, so you are a pro at this. So first things first, can you tell us more about the event, what to expect, who it's for? Do you need volunteers?
We need all the help we can have, basically. If anyone can offer something, give us a shout. The whole thing with doing this, I've been planning it for probably best part of 2 years now. I did the first year pretty much on my own, where I went, yeah, I can do this, it won't be a problem. And then realised, oh my God, this is massive, I need help. And then other people came on board. We've gone and registered as a charity, which was a lot of hoops to jump through, but we've done it. We've got a committee that's kind of helping us with everything. But because we've kind of taken our time with it, it's given us a chance to not just do a pride event where it's like walking through town to a table full of biscuits kind of thing. We've got permission from the Crown Estate to use the long walk, so we're going to have a march, and it's the first Pride March, I believe, that's been on like Crown Estate, which is pretty cool.
Amazing.
We're going through the town centre, past Windsor Castle. It's the busiest day that Windsor has, like every single year, because it's the first Saturday of the summer holidays. So it's going to be busy, which also really scares me. We have pretty much the whole of Alexandra Gardens, where we've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's for everyone. It's not just for like the LGBT community. It is literally everyone that wants to come along. So yeah.
How do volunteers sign up?
To sign up, I'm quite good at overthinking everything. So you've probably noticed that. We've got a section on our website. So if you go to winterpride.co.uk, at the top there's a little button that says Get Involved. And then when you click on that, you've got different options to get involved, whether you want to be a sponsor or a partner with it, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to perform, or if you want to have a stall in the Pride Village. So there's a lot of options on there, and you fill in a form, it goes to the relevant team, and they deal with it, not me, because I've got too many things to deal with. So yeah.
Glad to hear you've got a team behind you, Steve. And why are you launching Windsor and Eton Pride now? What's behind that?
What happened with it was I discovered 2 years ago that I was really looking forward to going to Windsor Pride. Like, when is it? I'll Google it. When's it going to happen? And I couldn't find anything. And I then wrote to my local MP and got a response back, but it wasn't kind of a helpful response. It was kind of, well, we don't do it at the moment. Speak to these people, they might help you, kind of thing. All on very official House of Commons letterheaded paper. What I then discovered was our local MP at the time wasn't very supportive in other things that they kind of voted for in the House of Commons for stuff to do with like LGBT rights and things like that. And with the kind of experience that I've got, I thought, well, no, I'm bored. I want something to do. And this all happened from that. Getting that letter was almost like waving a red flag in front of a ball kind of thing.
And when was this? Was this 2 years ago?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, a while ago, I see.
Yeah, it was. And like following, I had meetings with the council. The thing which was really ironic about all of this was I wrote this kind of email to like the people I'd given contact details for, and I heard back from them, and it was like, do you want to come in for a meeting? And then when I came in for a meeting, it was something that they'd been discussing the week previous to me sending this email about, oh, we haven't got a Pride event, we should really do this. And then they've kind of married up together, and we got on. They said, this is actually a funny story about this. they said put together an event proposal about what you want to do, and we'll have a chat about it. Now, I understood that, considering the other events that have happened in Windsor, because we've had some pretty big concerts on TV and things like that. And I read this in my mind as you need to build a full-on brochure for all of this with like pictures and just everything. And I spent ages making this document, sent it into them, had another meeting and said, yeah, let's go and do this. And then at the end of it, I got told, we were only expecting you to send us 2 paragraphs of text. And I'd done them a full colour brochure of everything because it meant so much to me that we like need to do this, and it's like I might have the chance to be the person that holds that torch kind of thing. But yeah, so I could have just written 2 paragraphs, but I didn't.
Well, I'm so happy the council's supportive, because my experience when I was a councillor is a lot of the time events are the best when they come from the community, and councils are more than happy to support in the ways they do with licensing and roads and everything. But what does this event mean to you personally, Steve? Like, why is it so important to you?
Personally, to me, I went to my first Pride event probably 4 or 5 years ago. No, it was about 4 years ago. And I went to it, and the first thing that I saw was the complete opposite of what like the older generation seem to think that Pride events are about. And I saw families taking their kids there to actually educate them and actually have a really, really good time and enjoy themselves and bond and just see this amazing thing that was put on. And it really changed my mind about bits and pieces, and it also explained a lot of questions that I've been asking myself as well. And then it was like, well, Windsor's perfect for this. Like, we've got amazing transport links with like London, with like Reading and all of that side of the country. We've got a castle. We've got a king that stays there sometimes. We've got Alexandra Gardens, which is like location wise is perfect. And they've got an active audience of people that come to that, and it's like, well, why is it not happening? Why has this not happened already? And yeah, it was just, there was a lot of things where I kind of thought about stuff, and it just made sense to go and to try and organise it. And thank God I got people helping me now, because it's turned into a monster.
My experience of going to Pride, if it's Reading Pride, London Pride, is it's very welcoming of everyone. But I know that you want Windsor and Eton Pride to really go almost a step farther. But does it have at its core really celebration of the LGBT community still?
It has celebration of all of that, plus a lot more. So one of the main factors with this is myself and Fiona, who's one of the other trustees in this. We both suffer from MS, and there's been a lot of times where we've been to things and just really haven't felt included in everything, and it's been quite difficult for us. And there's other people in the area, and it's not so much a Pride event that's just celebrating LGBT issues. It's a case that it's celebrating anyone who didn't feel comfortable being themselves and being like where they are in society and things like that. And we need to celebrate this. I mean, one of our things that we do for like one of our slogans is we're all the same. We're all uniquely beautiful humans. And this is something that you need to kind of look at what we're doing. And it is a celebration of LGBT, disability, ethnicity, gender, age, and where we've been doing like warm-up events for us and things like that. Like this is again one of like, or a couple of the things for like where this has really worked. Like we did our launch event at the brewery last year, and someone was at the bar at the end of the event, and we'd had drag queens on, we had comedians, everything going. And this was a stereotypical, you would never see this person at a Pride event. And they turned around to me and Chrissy and said, honestly, I would never have come here. I just came down here for a pint. And has to be one of the best events I've ever been to. I've really enjoyed myself, and I cannot wait until next year that when you're doing this, because I'm gonna be down there. And there was
Fantastic, Steve.
there was another example of this. I had a Windsor and Eton Pride like pin badge, which one of our committee had from me, and there was an elderly woman, like 80-year-old grandmother that they knew, and they were really, really curious about, what's this badge mean, and then explained, I think, is it possible I could have that, because my granddaughter has a girlfriend, and I haven't spoken to her for 10 years or however long it was, and I think this would be a really, really good, I'm seeing them like tomorrow. I think this would be a really, really good talking point to start a conversation like with them about stuff. And they took this pin, and then Graham got a message from them a couple of days later, saying, yes, my granddaughter and her girlfriend are taking me to Pride next year.
Oh,
So they're going
fantastic.
as a family. Yeah, it's like it's stuff like that.
If other people are organising Pride events, from your experience with your multiple sclerosis, how did it affect you of not being included or not be able to access it fully? What do they need to be mindful of?
We've been to other Pride events. I mean, with, for example, like the disability side of things. We were at Reading Pride last year. We had a gazebo there, like talking about what we were doing, and there was someone you knew who has a mobility scooter, and it run out of batteries, and it's a grass pitch, and they had kind of their friends like having to push them around the site in this mobility, and it just wasn't fun for them. And this is just like one thing that we're doing. So like we're putting down actual surfaces on the grass at Alexandra Gardens so buggies can go on it. We've paired with Shop Mobility, because that's right next door to where the site is. If you want to take part in the parade, you can either take your buggy or get a buggy from Shop Mobility. They will drop you off at the start of the parade. You do the parade up a long walk. You get back to the site, you put it on charge, and then you can go, around the site, and so on and so forth. We've got things like the bar area. If you have a disability, if you have an accessibility lanyard, it means you also got access to the VIP bar, because certain bars could be quite busy and overwhelming for people, and especially if you have mobility issues or you can't hear properly. We've got non-verbal communication cards that are going to be on lanyards. We're having British Sign Language interpreters on the main stage. It's almost like we're designing all of this for putting as much elements in it for disabled people, because we've got disabled people who are helping put it together. So yeah, there's things that people could learn from it, and they do these events, but I don't think anyone has actually gone to the length that we're going to with this, because we want to make an impression. So yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm just thinking, are you getting advice from other organisers of local prides, and potentially are you going to help advise on other local prides, if it's Woking Pride, Bracknell Pride, so they can learn from what you know as well?
A lot of the Pride organisers, we're in a thing called the UK Pride Organisers Network, and it's kind of like this group that everyone kind of chats about bits and pieces. I wouldn't say we share loads of ideas, because it's still a little bit, well, mine's better than yours kind of thing, but competition is healthy. But we have things like there's a governing body called consortium.lgbt, and I'm one of the people that speaks on their panel that they have for disabilities in LGBT events and things like that. So we kind of like get together every couple of months and like make recommendations and that kind of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say we're in big communication with everyone. I mean, we're quite good friends with like the Woking Pride people, because I think they're kind of on the same journey as us. I think Reading is quite established. I think there's like 21 years or 22 years into it now, and I think they've found their mould and they've found the shape that their event needs to be, and they're quite happy doing all of that. Whereas I think with our one, we're kind of doing as much as we can with what we've got available, and making a little bit of an impression with it. I think, hopefully, yeah,
Of
we'll see in
course you
July.
are. And I suppose another question is, what next, Steve? Obviously, you've got this great event on the 26th of July. Hopefully, it's going to be an annual event. But I'm just thinking, you obviously have stalls at other Pride events too. What else does Windsor and Eton Pride do?
So other things that we're doing, we have our Safe Space for All initiative, which was something that we started last year, and that all led on from me getting one email from someone saying who was part of they're trans and they were part of the LGBT community, and was very much, I don't feel safe in Windsor. I don't think you should do a Pride event. Like, why are you doing this? I can't go out. I don't feel safe doing all of this. And it kind of hit us quite a bit. And the way we addressed it was we decided, but last year we're just going to do a launch event and say what we're doing. It gave us more runway to do what we're doing this year. But it also gave us a chance to get the Safe Space for All scheme off the ground, and we went to all different shops, schools, libraries, sports centres, and gyms, nightclubs. We've got signed up on it, and they all display a sticker in the window to say, it's almost like a food hygiene rating, to say that we don't tolerate this kind of behaviour in here, and we'll deal with it accordingly. And I wouldn't say that we police it as such. We keep an ear to the ground of like stuff that's happening, but we've had so far about 70 places sign up for it. We've got more that are signing up for it. We've got things like Windsor Castle and the Theatre Royal that have signed up. But it's basically put all of these pins on a map to say that Windsor is a big safe space, and there's all of these people that support what we're doing, and it's going to grow as well because we've now got two people that are looking after that a lot more as well. So yeah, that's like one of the side quests with it. We've got other events that we're doing, and we have a 3-year kind of plan with this that we're looking to potentially open some kind of shop unit somewhere. If you're listening, we would like a shop unit, hint, hint, that we have as a safe space for all, almost like cafe kind of thing, like Pride area, so that people can go there and feel safe and get information about stuff, and be based from that. I'm not saying, that's going to be full-time job, because I've got a full-time job. This is all volunteer stuff, but I think in 3 years it's something that is definitely attainable.
Sounds amazing. And I've got a final question for you. If you were
Okay.
Prime Minister,
Oh
which
God.
law would you introduce or change and why?
Okay. So you emailed me this. I've got to find the response that I made for this, because I thought it was an absolute work of art. There's two that I replied to this. There was a silly one, which was I would put a law in place that stops people from discriminating against Marmite so that it is loved by all.
Oh, I
So
love
that's
Marmite as well,
yes.
so that's good.
So there was that. The more serious kind of thing that I said with this is putting more things in place so that there is more kind of jurisdiction for the little man, or little person, so to speak, when they have to go up against, the big corporation, or there's something that's happened that's not right, so to speak.
Do you have something in mind?
And I don't know. It's just more. So there's more rights for those people, because at the moment it's very much a case of, oh well, I and it does open a whole can of worms with all of this. But if someone didn't have a great experience with something, it's all well and good that person saying, I didn't have a great experience with this happened. You obviously see like knock-on effects of stuff that's happened with it. But the other side of things will just go, well, yeah, well, these are all the evidence, and these are all the people that we paid to do this, and this is all the stuff that we presented. So you've got no argument.
So I'm
And
thinking
I
about
think,
like the post office scandal or employment tribunals. Is that
yeah,
what you're
yeah,
going on about? Okay, I
yeah,
see.
it's all stuff like that where there's more differences of opinion being listened to properly. I think I don't know how we would solve it. I don't know. It's something where I need to sit down and think about it. And at the moment, I'm thinking about what's happening in July. But yeah.
Well,
So
with
you
the
should have gone for the Marmite answer.
oh, I'm happy with those. I mean, with the post office scandal, that was horrendous, and
Mm,
lots of them were just on their own. But it was the media or the local MP James Arbuthnot who really championed that. So you do need
mm,
to get those champions on your side, and sometimes that's the best way to highlight it, because it was an
yeah.
ITV drama which really highlighted this. It wasn't a load of lawyers or a load of money or anything helping these people specifically. It was just promote it through the arts, because it was quite
Yeah.
a dry issue, but it is through the arts that can really bring it to life and make people
Yeah.
have an emotional connection to it. So it's a complicated one, Steve, that's for sure. But
Sorry.
no, I love complicated. But it's been fantastic talking to you, Steve. Best of luck for Windsor and Eton Pride March, an event on the 26th of July. It's been great having you on the Berkshire Heroes podcast. Lovely
No
talking to
worries.
you.
Thanks very much.